Dear farmers, welcome to this video. Today we are going to demonstrate on how we can do proper nursery management and establishment. Look, we are having issues in seed germination. Farmers struggle a lot, yet nursery management is the most important practice that has to determine what actually we are going to go with in the field. Today we are going to demonstrate a stepwise nursery management practices, starting from the seed that will give you a good seedling that can actually go to the garden and you are able to move on very, very nicely. So today we are going to use peat moss and nursery trays, and we shall be demonstrating how we can actually fill the trays and we are able to put seeds and attain very good germination. We have two types of trays. One, it has 66 holes. The reason is that 66 holes is used for seeds which give fruits. For example, tomatoes, sweet pepper, eggplants. Those need to feed much, so we give them a bigger hole tray so that they can be able to take up much nutrients. Then we also have 200 holes tray, which is now has smaller holes, and this is used mostly for plants which don't actually give fruits. For example, cabbages, sukuma wiki, spinach, and all that. So it is very, very important to select a very good tray that can actually give you good output. So today we shall be demonstrating on lettuce production, lettuce nursery. But we can, all this step is going to be working on all seeds that we actually buy, so that we can be able to have a good output. With peat moss, sometimes you find peat moss is not moist, but when you are planting, you need to have a moist peat moss so that you are able to apply water that can fill in. When you use peat moss that is not moist, you'll find when you irrigate on the top of the trays, water tends to keep on the top. But when you pre-moist it, you'll find that the peat moss, the water is able to penetrate and reach your seedling, your seed, and the seed is able to germinate. So when the peat moss is not moist, we do what we call pre-moisting. We add some volume of water, then we mix together so that we are able to have a good composition of water and peat moss that can now help it the seed to germinate very, very well. So you mix well so that everything is homogeneous. Then we start filling into our trays. So we are going to start with this trays, the 66 holes. What you do, you just bring your peat moss, you put on top like this, then you spread. You make sure that each hole gets the same volume of peat moss to avoid malnourishing the seed when it is growing, and also ensure that you press the peat moss that can fill in, and to avoid a situation where when you apply water you will end up getting holes inside, but when you have put enough peat moss there will not be a big depression that happens. So now as you can see, we have filled our tray and you clean it very well. As I told you, this nursery establishment is a very good practice, and it is actually you find that you are not dirtying yourself. Everything is smart. We are really looking at making agriculture smart and very, very sexy. So now we have filled our tray. We can now see how the tray is filled. You find that all holes are actually very well filled. So we are going to start on seeding. And on seeding, we are going to plant lettuce today. But as I already mentioned, you can put any seed here. Yes, sweet pepper, cabbage, tomatoes, all these go into the trays. So we are going to see this tray. We put in each hole, we put one seed. As you can see, one seed per hole. There are those who can put more, but it's not really good because it will cause competition. And again, you will find that your seeds are not really doing well because they are competing for food, and also it can cause dumping off because they will be congested. So we are putting one seed per hole in each hole of the tray. No matter the holes, if it is 200, those are 200 trays. 200 holes. If they are 66, those are 66 plants. So this one also helps you to know the number of plants you are raising, and these are some of the benefits of using seedling trays, because you are very sure of what you are doing. If you want 1,000 seeds, you know how many trays to fill. If you want to plant 1 acre of tomatoes and you need 8,000 plants, then you know how many trays to fill. That one helps you to avoid wasting seeds, avoid wasting money. You are doing unnecessary spending. As you already know that we are looking at reducing the cost of production so that we can get more profits in farming. Now, if you are raising seeds, many seeds compared to what you want to plant in the garden, you are actually already facing losses even before you start into the production. So these are the most important things that we really have to look at. After having filled your trays, you can see I put the seeds, but I do not cover. This is to help me to avoid putting more than one seed, because if you cover, you are likely to forget and you find that you are putting many seeds in one hole. So now after putting, you just press a bit, not really very deep, because if you put it deeper, the seed will not come out. We always make a hole that is similar to 2 times to the size of the seed. That's when you are able to get very good germination. As you can see, we are pressing one by one. This is not really deep. There are those who think that you have to put it deeper for it to germinate. That is not true. Actually, it will cause more problems, as the seed may start rotting inside before it germinates, and you end up losing out. We have now covered all of them. You don't have to put moss again. You just cover with your hand. The soil which is on top will be enough to cover the seed. And in case you see some seeds are still visible, then you can add small peat moss. But as you can see, our tray is really fully covered. We don't have to add anything. So the next step now, we are going to put water, because the water we are going to put is going to be enough for the seeds until germination happens. So to avoid splashing of the peat moss, we are not going to use watering can, as some of us usually do, but we are going to use a sprayer. You put on a sprayer and you put on a small pressure. You just give it a fine pressure that is now able to give you a fine mist that is helping to irrigate. As you can see, we are irrigating our tray. If you observe very well, you will find that all the seeds have been watered very well without even affecting them. It is if you see any seed that is showing, then you can cover it and you are able to move on. So here now we have reached a stage where now we are going to incubate them to keep them so that they can start germinating. So if you have many trays, you are filling maybe 20, you are filling 30 trays, then we be stacking them together. Let me fill this tray so that we can have 2 trays filled. I can easily demonstrate what I want you to understand on this. So this is our tray. So we are having 2 trays. We have seeded all of them. Then now, when we want to stack them for germination, we put this one on top of this. Then you keep, even if you have 20, but make sure you don't go beyond 10 trays. At least you put like 8, which you can stack together, so that you are able to keep the germination nice. Now the top tray we shall have to cover with a polythene, but because we fear that the polythene may generate a lot of heat, which can spoil the seeds, Then we get another tray which is empty, which we cover on top. This now area will help the seeds not to get into direct contact with the polythene, which would cause burning and also any other that can lead to raw germination. But with this one, you are able to have the environment that can help you actually go through very well. So now from here we are going to cover our trays. We are using the black polythene, which have to be laid on the table, the nursery table. And actually something we are looking at is to make sure that when you are doing this seedling, you have a raised environment where you are going to put your seed trays so that they can be off the ground to avoid the pests and diseases. So we are covering like this. This is our cover that we are using. Depending on the size, the number of trays that you are having, you cover and make sure that it goes this way. Even if you have 1,000 trays, you make stacks of at least putting this. Don't put more than 10 trays on each, so that you are able to cover them very well, and you let them to be there for the number of days. For example, for lettuce, 3 days they will be out. Tomatoes, 3 to 4 days. Cabbages, 3 to 4 days. Then sweet pepper, sometimes it goes to 6 days. So that is the range which you have. So we don't expect to open before the germination starts, but you need to master the days of germination so that you are able to know that when am I going to remove my polythene. After the expected number of days, then we are able to open our tray so that we can see the germination, and you remove the top tray and see how the germination has actually come out very, very well. So according to this tray, we are having actually this is 100% germination. Only this seed in a corner is the one that is still coming, but all others have really germinated very well. So this is now you are able to move it. You unstack them, and you are able to move them on the growing table, where they will now be applied with water. And also, if you want to maintain them well, then you put water. You can put some fertilizer. For example, the easy grow starter, which you can use. Then also you can use we use crop marks. Then you can also use a pesticide in case you see there are some pests that can actually disturb it. So the beauty with seedling trays is that at the end of it all, we are going to obtain a seedling that is like this. You see the root system has really been well established, and this one is going to help you to avoid transplanting shock, and also the plant when you transplant, it will be having a very good feeding area, and then it will be able to grow very, very fast and give you something very nice. At the end of it all, we are going to have our plants looking very vigorous, very nice, like as you can see. We have tomatoes here, we have eggplants, we have lettuce, and any other plant which you have replanted, it will be coming out very well. And you are able to have a healthy plant without diseases, without pests, which you can even transplant, and in a short time you are able to get good yield. You avoid transplanting shock and all others. As you can see, this is tomato, very nice. To be honest, this is very nice. And this one, when you transplant, even if it is hot, you just need some small water for irrigation, and it will catch up immediately. With ground nurseries, you will find that when you are uprooting the seedling, all this soil is actually lost, and even the root development is not well established, as you can see. So in that sense, you will find that you are having issues with transplanting shock, and also the plant will take long to come up to establish to the environment, and that will be a problem which can actually affect your yield. You see the same thing with eggplants. Roots are always uniform, and as we said, you find that because of seedling trays, do you see it is the same mass of peat moss, the same root development. You see the same height of seedlings. So everything is actually uniform, as you can hear the word uniform. And this one helps you to get some good yield, because when you start with a good seedling, it is something that can show that you are actually going to have some good yield at the end of it all. So this is all we have for today, and we shall be giving you more videos about what we do and how a farmer can actually follow our all tips to be able to come up with a good production that can be sustainable, productive, and all farmers can be happy, and we are able to move on in agriculture. Thank you.